What's happening? Tim with Nomad Trading here. Guys, I know it's been like a week since I uploaded, but let's face it, life gets in the way. And to be honest, I don't make any money on YouTube. Not yet, anyway. My ultimate goal, I know I set my goals super high here, but my ultimate goal is to make $1 with YouTube. If I can make $1, because I kind of enjoy making the videos and doing what I do and kind of showing you guys shortcuts to things that took me years to learn. But ultimately, I think it'd be really cool to make at least $1 from YouTube. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to be able to be monetized. So once you reach that level there, you can be monetized and you can start making money. So my goal really is only to get to that level. After that, it's just gravy. If I ever end up making any money with this, it would be awesome and I would love it. But really, it's just a goal of mine to get to that 1,000 subscribers and that 4,000 hours. And I gotta say, shout out to all of you because it's awesome. I think we're at like 138 subscribers, and I didn't think it would hit 100 subscribers for at least a couple of months. So pretty pleased with that. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are liking what I'm putting out there. Speaking of which, if you like this video and any other videos and you want to see more like them, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already and you like what you're seeing, make sure you subscribe and you'll get more videos like this one. Today I'm going to talk about screeners. I've had several people in the comments. I do answer every comment, by the way, as you've seen. And I've had several talking about scanners. So today I'm going to talk about scanners. Bear with me. This is not planned. Like I said, I've been working all day. I haven't had time to really make a video outline or anything. It's just off the cuff. So we're going to go through some scanners that I use and how I set them up and how you can set them up. Because guys, really what it comes down to, I'll show you how to set the scanner up, but it comes down to what you are looking for. Some people like blue chip stocks, stocks that have really big caps, tons of shares and tons of volume. Some people like micro floats and nano floats and really small floats. The float, by the way, is the number of available shares to be traded. So when you hear me talking about low float stocks, that's because that means that a low float or a nano float, whatever you want to call it, means that there's not very many shares available to be traded, which means that it's the law of supply and demand. The stock will move like crazy because if you got a really small amount of shares available and you get enough buyers in there, it's going to fly. That's the idea behind it. So anyway, I'm going to talk about scanners and how I have mine set up, but really what it comes down to is what you have as your strategy. And some of you, probably most of you that are watching this video are brand new and you don't have a strategy yet, and that's okay. It took me a long time to get any kind of a strategy, and even now I'm always trying to tweak it. I'm changing my scanners, I'm changing things, I'm looking for ways that I can broaden and better my trading game and become more profitable, more consistent. That thing that every trader is always chasing. I know traders that make well over $1 million and they're still refining their strategy and still doing everything they can to sharpen their tools. So without further ado, I'm gonna grab another beer and I'm gonna hop over into my computer and we'll start talking about some scanners, guys. What's up, guys? Here we are, nice and safe from the coronavirus inside my computer. I got a fresh beer ready to go. Let's talk about some scanners. I think actually I'm going to jump over and talk about a couple free scanners first, because this scanner, from what I'm being told by eTrade and from other people that have commented, I don't think eTrade Pro is available to new users, and they're making everybody go to Power eTrade. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to spend a whole bunch of time on this when a lot of people are new that are going to be watching this video and won't be able to use this scanner. I will make some videos with Power eTrade. I've been kind of dabbling with it a little bit, and I don't personally like it as much. I can't say why. Maybe it's just because I'm not familiar with it yet. You know how it is. I'm kind of a creature of habit, so breaking into that new thing and trying to get used to the power E-Trade. I just so far haven't really liked it very much. Haven't been using it a whole lot because of that. But I realize that a lot of you guys are going to be stuck using that if you go with E-Trade. I'm also going to make some videos with CMEG hopefully before long, and maybe some other brokers also, maybe TD Ameritrade. But anyway, long story short, I'm going to jump over and do some free scanners that I use as well. And then we'll come back here and dive into the eTrade Pro scanner and my criteria. So if we go over here, here is FinViz, FINVIZ. You can Google it. You can find it. It's not hard to find. I don't use this very often, but a lot of people like it. If I am using it, typically I'm just got it on like top gainers. And the way that you would work that is you can set, of course, there's all these different parameters here. You can look at market cap, which is you have the option of mega, so 200 billion and more is the market cap. Large cap, small cap, mid cap, micro, nano, etc. Typically, whenever I've been looking at it, at least recently when I've had it open, I've had it on nano, which is under 50 million market cap. So it's a very small, not very many shares available, inexpensive stock typically, which is usually what I like to trade. You can also toggle all these different things. I mean, I can go through them all if you want, but you can toggle the price. Like say you want to go under $1, under $2, under $3, etc. For me personally, I'm usually looking to trade. My sweet spot is usually between $1 and $10. I will trade over that, here and there, and I have, but like I said, my sweet spot whenever I've done my analytics and kind of seen where I make the bulk of my money and where I lose money, and this is something you guys should all do, is track your trades, and you kind of find out where you lose money, where you make money, what times of day, all that kind of stuff. It is good to track it, especially in the beginning. I honestly don't track any of it anymore, but it's because I've been doing it long enough that now it's more like second nature, so I don't spend near as much time. I probably should. I'd probably get better if I analyzed everything a little more. But anyway, you can toggle the price here. Under $10 would be what I look at a lot of the time. And then go up here. The only main things that you need to know, or in my opinion, on this one, of course, you can go in depth with it. Some people love this scanner. Everybody's got the scanners they like and the scanners that they prefer over other ones. So you can toggle all kinds of things. You can see the percentage of the float that is short, which is another way of saying like the amount of people that are shorting the stock. If that's something that interests you. If you're looking for a short squeeze or something like that. Then anyway, price, the main ones that I would say would be price. You can toggle the price. You definitely want to do that. If you've only got $500 account, you may not be wanting to look at $50 stocks. So this comes in handy for that. I would put it at under 10 for myself because that's my sweet spot. I would have the market cap at nano or micro or small. It just depends on, where your sweet spot is. Typically, I don't make a whole lot of money on the mega caps and the large caps and the mid caps. Usually it's small and micro and nano that I'm trading. That's usually the momentum stocks that are moving like crazy that you see everybody in the day trading world talking about, is usually those really small cap stocks typically. So I might put it on nano. And then up here, this is going to be the kind of scanner, what it's scanning the market for. So if you want to find the top gainers, which is what I have it on a lot of the time during the day, you're going to click top gainers, and it's going to scan the market and find the top gainers, the stocks that are at the top of the market that are in your price range and that are in your market cap. You can do most active. You can do most volatile. I mean, a lot of this stuff speaks for itself, guys. So I don't really feel like I need to completely go through what each and every one of these things do. And you can also Google any of the stuff that you want to know. You can Google it and figure it out if you have questions about a particular signal. But anyway, typically what I'm looking for would be top gainers. And then another one I use, where is it? New high. The new high. New high and top gainers are the two main ones that I use if I'm using this scanner. I'm looking for the top gainers. I'm looking for new highs because I'm typically looking to buy breakouts. So those are the two things that are the most important for me to find when I'm looking to buy a breakout. That's FinViz. And you can ask me questions if you have any questions about it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You just toggle these different things for what you're looking for. And if you don't like what you're looking at, then you change it a little bit. Say that you're under $1, you look for under $1, and there's only one here, TRNX. Okay, well then, that's not enough to choose from. I want some more options. So then you might change it and you might go under $2 and see what pops up. And then you get a lot more options there. And it's nice also because you can, if you bring your cursor over the ticker, it's going to show the ticker there, and then it's going to have a screen pop up and kind of show you the candles, the daily candles, so you can kind of see what you're working with, just a little bit of an overview. If you're looking for something in particular, you can kind of scan over that real quick and say, oh, okay, like in PULM's instance, I might look at that and say, okay, there's resistance maybe in the 150s and 160s. So I'm not really looking to buy this at 149. It's not a clear breakout. I don't want to get into that. And I might look at this and I might say, oh, okay, this looks like it's already broken out, formed a little bit of a cup and handle there, and it's already broken out. It's over $1. That might be something I'm interested in looking at the 1 minute or the 5 minute chart on. So it just kind of is a good way of narrowing down what you want to look at. And typically what I do is I'll find something here that intrigues me. If I'm looking at this scanner and something intrigues me, then I'm going to go over and click on my platform, and that's where I can bring up the different charts, the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5 minute, the 15, whatever, the daily, whatever I'm wanting to look at to see, is this something I want to trade or not? I'm just bringing it over here and throwing it in my actual platform so I can get a closer look at it. That's pretty much the ins and outs of FinViz. Then, let's see. We'll go to Marketwatch. This is one that I use quite a bit, the intraday screener. Again, you can Google Marketwatch and it will take you to the website, and then you just got to go to screener. And you can find the intraday screener. I'm sure you can Google intraday screener Marketwatch and it would come up. I'm going to take you to the screener. If you clicked on new screen, this would come up. Okay, so when you're looking at your parameters on what you're looking for, typically for me, and again, like I said, this is just stuff that I'm looking for. You can toggle it however you want. If it's something that you're not interested in, if you're looking to trade something else or your strategy revolves around something else, then you put it the way that you want it. But for me, I might put, I want to activate it. And this says trading from, so here's where you put your price in, $1, for instance. Do I trade things under $1? Sometimes, but I just don't like the way they move. So many times when a stock is under $1, for whatever reason it is, I don't see spikes holding as well. And for me, I'm always looking to buy the breakout. And I'm looking for a stock that can break out and then extend the gain, at least, preferably 10, 20 cents, 30 cents, whatever. So you can buy a lot more shares of the cheaper stocks that are under $1. But in my opinion, a lot of times they end up failing and they have some super big crashes. A lot of the time I'll see a stock that's under $1 that will be going crazy, and then it'll just drop in, one minute candle, 2 minute candle. You'll see it drop back 50% or something crazy like that, and I just don't like that. I don't like stocks that are that volatile to where the downside, especially under $1, for whatever reason, that's just what I see in my experience. So typically, I'll be looking for something between $1 and $10. Preferably $1 and $7 is my favorite trading range, but I'll go 10. And again, guys, I toggle this based on what pops up. If I put these criteria in and I screen it and I don't get any options, I'll come back and I'll toggle it a little bit different, adjust it, and then I'll screen it again and I'll see it. The idea behind it for me is to get somewhere around 15 stocks or so that are options that I can throw into my platform and look at more closely, and then kind of weed that out and try to find the one stock that I want to trade. I personally don't trade more than one stock at a time, hardly ever. I'm almost always just in and out of one stock. I find it really hard to concentrate, especially with my style of buying the breakout. I'm really quick in and out. I got to be right on it and buy it right at the exact time. It just becomes too difficult for me to manage that when I have more than one stock. I end up making money on one and losing money on another, or sometimes losing money on both. It just doesn't work out for me. Anyway, so I might put $1 to $7 per share, and then the next part would be you're looking for a stock that is, in my case anyway, up in price, buy. And usually I'll do like 15%. Unless it's a slow day, I might drop it to 10%. But I'm looking for a stock that's moving, that's already gapping up. That's the ones most traders are going to be looking at. And I do need volume to get in and out of the stock and have liquidity. So up in price by 15% or more. You can put trading below the 52-week low or above the 52-week high. If you're looking for breakouts, sometimes I'll click that, but typically I find if I start putting too much stuff in here, I end up screening down to nothing. I'll have like one or two stocks, or 0 stocks, or a couple stocks. So you got to kind of give yourself room for the stock to come to you in a sense. Like, you don't want to screen all the stocks away. You want to have some options. I'll go to volume. Typically, I'll put show me stocks with a current trading volume between. And for me, most of the time, I'm at 1 million. I want to see something that's got 1 million shares, because you want to, like I said, you want to have liquidity. You want to be able to get in and out of a stock. If you get in a stock that doesn't have liquidity, I might show you some examples at some point here, and I get back over to my platform. But if you get in a stock that doesn't have any liquidity, you quickly find that the spread will kill you, because you're buying a stock and then you can't get out of it because the spread, which is the difference between buyer and the seller prices, is so big that you end up having to sell into the buyers to get out of the stock, and there's such a big spread that you end up losing a decent amount of money. So you want to make sure that there is volume in the stock that you're trading. So for me, I just go with the nice round 1 million shares traded. And again, if I'm not getting enough stocks, I'll adjust that. Or getting too many, I'll adjust it. Block trades, I personally don't care that much about block trades. A PE ratio, I don't care that much about PE ratio. I'm really just looking for momentum stocks that are moving so I can buy the breakout and get out. So a lot of this stuff doesn't matter all that much to me for what the kind of trading that I do. And if it does to you, then that's fine. You can put whatever you want in there. If you don't know what any of this stuff is, again, just Google block trades and you can find articles written all about it. PE ratio, market capitalization, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'll put market cap in there, but typically I don't. Typically just between the price and the percentage in price that it's up and the volume. And then a lot of the times I'll put that I'm looking for something that's not that one, this one, that are outperforming their 50-day or their 200-day. Sometimes I'll use that to kind of narrow it down. I do like to buy, and you'll find when you're trading that typically the stocks that are running, that people are really trading, that day traders are watching and trading, are going to be above their 50-day or above their 200-day moving average. So if I put that in there, it kind of weeds out. Typically, I'm not looking to buy stocks that are under VWAP or under the 200 moving average. It's just the way it works out. If a stock's moving and if I'm buying it, I'm looking for a momentum stock and a breakout stock. Typically, it's above VWAP and it's above the 200 moving average. It's just how it works. Usually above the 50 too, the 50 also. But it's a way of weeding out stocks, like I said. If you want to weed a few more out because you're getting too many out of your screener, you can toggle these different things and weed a few more out. Then I'll hit screen. This is going to say, how would you like to view your screen results? Okay, well, on this screen here, it's just telling you what you're going to see on your screener once it screens, like what's going to be listed there, what's important to you, what do you want to see. I want to see the symbol, obviously, because I need to know what the ticker is. The company name, I like to know that. The price, I like to know. Obviously, you need to know the price. The change, that's important. The change percentage is important. Volume's important. And then the rest of this stuff, you can put it on there if you want it on there. This is how it comes, I believe. Like stock out of the box, the way that they have it set up, I think is like this, and I don't ever really change it because I don't really need to know the rest. Sometimes I'll put market cap if I want to know the market cap, but typically don't really need to know that. Hit screen, and there you have it. You have a list of stocks. Now you can see that ATHX. One thing that I do personally, I click on percent change, and that will put the smallest at the top. I click it again, and that puts the largest percent gain at the top. That's how I like it. That's how I want to see it. MDGS in this case is the largest percent gainer that's in my price range, that's up over more than 15%, that's got over 1 million shares of volume. So this is what meets my criteria. If you were to get a big long list, then you'd want to go back to edit criteria, and you'd want to narrow it down a little bit. If you're looking for something with a little more volume or a different price range, you can play with it until you get down to a manageable list. The whole idea is to get to a manageable list of stocks that you can actually look at. So glancing at this, I would see, okay, MDGS, that's up almost 35%. It's traded 32 million shares, so that tells me that there is liquidity. There's volume in there. That's good. I can get in and out of it. The price is $1.90. That's good. I can afford it. I can get quite a few shares of it. It shows you the dollar amount that it's changed, 49 cents. So that kind of tells me, hey, okay, MDGS might be something I want to look at. And then I'll jump over here to my platform and type it in. As you can see on this stock screener here that's built in that I run all the time, it's already on there. And you'll find that also, guys, there's going to be a handful of stocks that everybody's looking at and trading that you're going to see no matter what scanner you put it in. It's going to be popping up on a bunch of screens, and that's part of how you know what the hot stock of the day is and what day traders are really trading, because you'll see it, you'll see it on that Marketwatch screener and your etrade Pro screener, and several different screeners. You might go into Stock Twits and you'll see that that's one of the ones that's trending up at the top. It becomes pretty easy to see what everybody's trading. In this case, MDGS, I would click on it here. That would come up and bring up my news here. And if you haven't got your platform set up yet, you can go to my video where I talk about how to set up your platform. There's a million ways to set it up. This is just how I have mine set up. And I particularly like this screen here where I can type in a stock or click on it if it's already on there. And it's going to bring up the news, the chart, and the level 2 all at once real quick. I can glance at it. Okay, yeah, I'm interested in that. Or, okay, no, I'm not interested in that. You can decide real quick if it's something you like or don't like. This particular stock has gone from, let's see if we go one day back. Yesterday it was trading around 140. Today the high of day, 340 it looks like. So, that's the kind of thing. It's what gets me excited. That's what keeps me coming back, guys. It's moves like that to me are exciting. Whenever you got a stock that goes up from $1.40 and hits a high of day at 340, to me, that's a pretty exciting day. Not that I'm going to nail that. I'm not going to nail that. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to nail the bottom. I'm not going to hit it. I'm not going to, be buying right here. And I'm not going to be selling at the top of it. It's never going to happen. It hasn't happened to me yet. I've come close a few times, but yeah, even the best traders don't nail the bottoms and the tops. But it just shows you what's possible. And it shows you that, in this case, not really anything that would have excited me. If I was buying this stock, I would have probably been buying it right here for the break of the high of day. Let's go to today. So right here, the high of day around 311. If I was buying it, I would have been watching it at that high of day level, and I would have been buying it there, getting in real quick and getting back out real quick if it looked toppy. And then I'd be hoping that it didn't drop before I got out of it. That's why I don't hold the stocks very long. There's so many times that I've held too long and turned a win into a loss. So, this is not a very good example of a stock because most likely I would have been buying when it just below that 311 area. I would have seen it approaching high of day, and I would have been trying to buy it just above 3. And I probably would have been getting back out of it around 325, somewhere in that range. And if I did hold a piece of it longer, I would have seen the wicks and seen the level 2 and hopefully got out of it and not got caught with my pants down. But you never know. There's a lot of times that I do, just like anybody else. So anyway, it's just an example of what I would have done on that stock. I might have not bought it at all. But typically I'm looking for the break of the high of day. So it might have worked out for a quick little scalp. Definitely wouldn't have been a big gainer. And then after that, for me anyway, no action on it because it pulls back pretty hard. Can't even break back through VWAP here. This red line's VWAP. It did not break back through that. Just faded all day. So to me, that's a dead stock. Wouldn't be touching it. Anyway, so scanners here. My scanner that I run all the time is low float runners. It's not rocket science, guys. You can put this in the same metrics into pretty much any scanner. But if you're going to set up a scanner on eTrade Pro or basically any scanner on any platform, you would find where it says create new strategy, and then you would just go in and change the parameters. For me, I'll show you the parameters of this. A lot of people have been asking what is it exactly that I'm looking for with my scanner. So low float runners is one that I run all the time. And if I go to, change strategy, it's going to bring up my parameters. So what do we got here is you can click on this little button here, the little pencil. That's going to be edit, and you can see my criteria, which would be right here. I got my price set up between 25 cents and $15. I got a really wide range there, 25 cents and $15. And then And again, it would take me hours to go through all of these different things with you, so I'm just gonna touch on the ones that I think are important that I use. So I got price, which is obviously important because you want to narrow down your price and what you can afford, basically, to get. You don't want something you can only buy 5 shares of. You want to get something you can get a good handful of shares on. So 25 cents to $15. And then you can do these are all different things that help you screen out what you're looking for. I go to volume today and I put in 1,000,000 shares just like I did on that other screener. That's going to weed out. The point of that is all the time you'll get stocks that move a lot, but they have no volume. One person buys 10 shares or 20 shares of a stock that's got a really big spread and they buy it super high, it's going to start popping up on scanners. So the point of the volume is to weed that out because it's not liquid enough that you can actually trade it. So for me, 1,000,000 shares is a pretty good number. Then I come down to gap. I'm looking for a gap of 10%, which means that it's gapping up. Another thing, guys, most scanners on platforms have like help things that you can click on them and they'll help you know what they mean. For instance, you click on gap and it'll tell you minimum or maximum gap up at the open from the previous close expressed in percentage from the open. In the pre and post market, the last trade is used instead of the open. Also, a negative value can be set. So it'll tell you that it's looking for a stock that's gapping up 10% or more because I put 10% in as my value. Sorry, you could put 15% or 20% or whatever. Or you can do it by a dollar amount. I'm looking for a stock that gaps up by $1. You'd put $1 in there. It just depends on what you're looking for. For me, on this particular scanner, 10%. I'm looking for something that's gapping up at least 10%. Let's see what else. And you can do like so many different things you can toggle in here. The Dow change and the distance from pivot and distance from VWAP if you want to find something that's far away from VWAP, if you're looking for a pullback or something that's going to climb back towards VWAP. I mean, there's just so many different strategies. For me anyway, though, I'm just showing you, scrolling down to things that I've got in here. And most of it's blank because I'm not trying to weed everything out. There's just a few handful of things that I'm looking for. Let's see. Oh, there it was. The float. I've got the float set at 25 million shares. That's because I used to have it even smaller than that. And like I said earlier in the video, guys, the float is the amount of shares that are available to be traded. So you're going to have insiders that have shares locked up. And then you're going to have the float, which is the amount of shares that can actually be traded. The lower the float, the more likely it is to move rapidly, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for momentum stocks that can move super fast. So 25 million is a little bit high. I used to have it at 10 million, but then I wasn't getting enough stocks on my screener. I wanted more stocks to choose from, so I changed it to 25 million, which is still relatively small considering there are a lot of stocks that have 100 million shares available, 200 million shares available, 300 million, a lot of shares. So 25 million shares if it gets good volume. For instance, this MDGS that was pretty hot today traded 32,797,000 shares. So my 25 million shares float would have definitely caught that. And this traded the entire, had this, I don't know what the float was, honestly. I have to look it up. But if MDGS's float was 25 million shares, it traded the entire float more than once. And that's what I like to see. I like to see float rotation and stocks that are getting enough volume that they're really moving and they're trading over the entire volume of the float. let's see, was there anything else? No. So yeah, it's that simple. That's all the filters that I had. I have the float, and I have the gap, the amount I want it to gap up. I've got price. I've got let's see. Yeah, that's just price, high and low, and volume. So that's all I got: price, volume, the gap, and then float. That's all there is to it. And you can change it however you want. If you're getting more results than you want or not enough results, then you toggle that and change it up. Tons of ways to change it up. That's how I have my low float runner. Then you have what's called alerts. This is what screens the stocks out of the whole market. Then you have alerts. What this is this is whenever one of these alerts is triggered, that's when it's going to pop up on your scanner. So I have, for instance, new high. So it's going to pop up on there when one of these stocks that meets these parameters hits a new high of the day. It's going to pop up. And then I'm going to see that and be able to, oh, okay, that's hitting a new high. Click on it and see if it's something that looks like I might want to buy it. You got pre-market highs. You got after hours highs, post-market highs. I got 25% pullback from highs. That's because sometimes I'll buy a VWAP bounce, something that pulls back and hits VWAP, and I'm looking for it to bounce back up. And I'm also always looking for the breakouts, so you don't want to eliminate everything. I like to be able to see if a stock's pulling back off its highs. I want to start watching it then, so that way I'm ready whenever it gets to that breakout level. Percentage up for the day. So when it hits a new percentage up for the day, it's going to pop up. Crossed above the open. This is important because red to green moves are a good sign of strength. If the stock goes from red to green, it's showing a good amount of strength. So I want to see that to pop up. Crossed above close, same thing, but talking about the close. Crossed above open confirmed, which means that it's crossed above the open and then it's confirmed that it's staying above the open. It didn't just pop through one time on one candle and then pop right back below. I like that because that shows strength. Same thing with crossed above close. High relative volume, it's going to pop up if there's a big spike in volume. I like that because usually if you get a big spike in a stock, it's going to also be a big spike in volume. So it's one more thing that triggers me that, hey, this thing could be spiking. Strong volume, same thing, same concept. Stock twits activity spike. I like that because sometimes news, the one thing that I think stock twits is good for, guys, I'm not a big fan of stock twits because they'll talk you into whatever. You can talk yourself into any position if you read that crap on there. A lot of it's misinformation and a lot of it's biased traders trying to sway people to buy or sell, do whatever they want them to do. But the one thing I will say is that a lot of times they know news. You'll see news on there that you can't find other places. There's times that I don't see news on eTrade or TD Ameritrade or Marketwatch or a lot of other places that I'm looking, and I won't see news, and I'll go to Stock Twits and somebody will be talking about it or posting about it. So I like to have that on there because sometimes there'll be a big increase in Stock Twits activity because some news came out, and I'll catch it on there before I even catch it on the platform. Halts, I like those obviously because if a stock is moving too quickly, that's when it gets halted. Circuit breaker halts occur when the stock's moving too big a percentage up or down in a short amount of time. I like that obviously because that's going to alert me that, hey, this stock's moving really fast. Check it out. I have talked about how halts can be very dangerous, especially if you're new to trading. But anyway, it's good to be watching them. Resume means that the halt has resumed, so it's going to alert me if a halted stock has resumed trading. Crossed above 200-day moving average and 50-day moving average. I watch those also. I like those because that's a sign of strength. If it makes it past the 200 or past the 50 or past VWAP, it's a sign of strength. So those are the things that I look for with my alerts, and those are my filters. You can create your own strategy by just clicking create strategy. I'm sure whatever platform you're on probably has a scanner and a place to create your own scanner. If you don't have a create your own scanner thing and you're just looking for a scanner, if you're trading momentum stocks like me and you're trading breakouts, then you want the high of day scanner or the top percent gainer scanner. Those are the most important and the most commonly used scanners you're going to be using and looking for. If you can't make your own and you just need a built-in scanner on your platform or on one of the free sites, just use those. Look for top percent gainers and new high of day scanners, because then you can find your breakouts pretty quick. Other than that, guys, that's about all I got. I hope that was helpful in some way. I know it was a lot of rambling and just throwing information at you off the top of my head because I didn't have time to really plan a video. And with that being said, I'm going to go spend some time with my kiddos. If you like this video, and get them to bed because I just realized it's getting late. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. That would be awesome. I appreciate everybody that's made it this far to the end of the video. I appreciate everybody that's subscribed so far. It's so awesome to already have over 100 subscribers. Keep it up, guys. Let's keep going. Maybe one day I'll make it to that goal of 1,000 subscribers and making my first $1 with YouTube. That would be awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Until next time, let trading set you free. Peace.